Hey everybody, this is of course me, Sonickick. Well, I wanted to get out an update video because I know I haven't uploaded in like a month or so, and I wanted to update everyone what's going on and what's been going on for the past year. So, as everyone knows, 2020 was a year. So one of the things that happened before we all had to stay home is that I was actually not really thinking about continuing my channel too much. I wanted to continue doing videos, but I was just like, okay, 2019 was a year that didn't have a lot of videos, but 2020 I wanted to think about pushing more, and I know I wanted to get out more, I wanted to go to different conventions, I wanted to travel a lot more, and of course that did not happen. But it was a blessing in disguise because that actually led to me making more videos because I was at home. I know one of the videos I was struggling with was Space Channel 5 VR, was reviewing that game. I had the privilege to be offered a code for it later on. I actually bought it first and then I was offered the code. And then when I got that video, I was like, didn't know what to do. I was planning it out. But when I was finally at home, I actually got the chance to work on it and get it out like 3 days afterwards. And I was like really proud of that, because it gave me more time to not only work on those videos, but also figure it out and plan out what I needed to do. So like I said, I started making more videos. Then I had to do the Neon City Riders video, and I was like, okay, that was a little delayed, but you know what, I get that out. And then I was like, okay, let me make a video in a day. Last Airbender video, that was one of my favorite ones that I ever did really quickly, because it had a really good reaction, not only from people, a lot of people started to watch it, but it also was just hey, you can pump out videos in a day. So that just kind of, yeah. And after that, I think I was just okay, I'm not feeling content creation, but then the Soccer Awards video came, and everyone knows the story around that. And I remember being honestly crunching on that video. And I remember if I said, hey, if this video does not do well or does not have a good reaction, I'm probably going to quit YouTube. And I know it's only 600 views, but I consider that a good reaction because a lot of people talk to me about Soccer Wars now, and I'm really happy about how that video turned out. Now, after that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take content creating more seriously, because then I built a PC. It was about August, September or so. Building a PC was a lot of work, but it was so exciting, and the fact I'm still using it makes me really excited because I have something I can work on, almost run anything on, and get footage for almost anything, which I'm really happy about. After that, I was just I'm gonna go ahead and plan out the rest of my year for the videos, ever since September. Because September was okay, Sayonara Wild Hearts is having its anniversary on the 19th, so I'm gonna make a Sayonara Wild Hearts video. Sounds good. Then I was okay, Pedal Crash is coming out pretty soon. Let me make a video on that. And then I'm okay, Yakuza's coming out soon. Let me make a video on Cosmic Kiryu's final chapter, which was the Yakuza 6 video. And then I was okay, hopefully if things are granted, I can have access to do a video on Like a Dragon. And that happened in January, because December was a lot of work and I was having struggles with that video, but then I just put it to the side and I was hey, let me work on the Wild Riders video. Or let me work on a video on Wild Riders because I was having fun with that game and I found a way to play it at home. That sort of thing. There's been some surprise videos, Wild Riders and Monster Hunter were the biggest surprise ones because I just kind of worked on that and then they just kind of happened. Monster Hunter was a big surprise, the Monster Hunter movie, I mean. I started working on that when the snowstorms in Texas hit. It wasn't a fun time for me because, I couldn't use that, the water system was completely destroyed. My pipe, one of the pipes burst, and my family and I had to stay in hotels for a good amount of time. And during that time, the Monster Hunter movie was coming to digital stores, and I was just I'm not sure if I should do anything with it. But then I saw one of the interviews. It was I showed that interview in the video about how there isn't any information on Monster Hunter Online, and that's funny because that encouraged me to actually do that video. Just a little me of hearing that and going completely off, and I'm this is awful. You're gonna get a video. This movie does not deserve. This movie does not deserve to be ignored because this is just awful. Anyways, yeah, those were fun things like that. again, I'm happy, like, I'm not happy that, you know, the pipes busted and, like, the tiles destroyed and all that kind of stuff, but I am happy that I got that video out because it was like, okay, this is what I can do as a content creator, and I found it was like a new sort of video, especially because I was working with, like, around copyright claims and what have you. Kind of, thanks to my friend Genry Perez for, like, helping me deal with that. So, what's next? In all honesty, I have mostly been relaxing. I really want to make more videos. I think I might do more shorter videos now. Now, like, I said that after the Yakuza video, but then I made an even longer one, which was funny. But I feel like I do want to make a lot more shorter videos, maybe gameplay videos as well, because I think we had I remember there was a Dead by Daylight one I did with Watson and one of my other friends, and that was a lot of fun. But I want things that are going to be like what people will watch and people will really enjoy. But recently I've been also live streaming with my previously mentioned friend Genry. We've been going through Resident Evil 6, and we're also going through a good amount of Suda 51/Grasshopper games. Like, we went through the Silver Case and Flower Sun and Rain already, and we're currently going through the 25th Ward, which we're having a good time with. I really enjoy those streams a lot. So, and recently I was actually on one of his videos in regards to Guitar Hero and harmonics. So I was voicing a few lines for that, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's where you see where I am. I'm always on Twitter. You can always reach out to me no matter what. And I always love talking to people. So yeah, on to the Q&A. Now I always do a Q&A for these update videos because it makes it a lot of fun. I get like a handful of questions and like I get to answer those, of course. And not only that, I just have a lot of fun doing so. So now that we have that, on to the first question. Lids ask, how big is your shrine to Ruby? Yeah, I know you DM'd me saying that this was a joke, but you know what? I'm gonna answer this anyway. Now, I don't particularly have a shrine to Ruby. I do have a good amount of merchandise. I still don't like Ruby, but I still look back on them because I really like all this. I really think the stuff I have is pretty cool. So in the first picture I'm currently showing on screen, I have a limited poster that was only given out to people who went to the Jeff Williams Freelance Orchestra or whatever that took place at RTX 2018. It is signed at the bottom. It's signed by Jeff Williams and Casey Lee Williams, so I think that's really cool. I have both my badges from RTX 2018 and 2019 respectively. On the right one, you also have a Ruby Chibi lanyard, which has some Ruby pins on there, as well as a few buttons from the convention that I got as well. My 2018 badge is signed by Paula DeCani, who is also the lead animator and director on Ruby Chibi, and I think she's working on Ruby proper as well. And the 2019 lanyard has a few signatures on them, whether they be like content creators like Halaxin or artists like Merzers, who's a really good Rooster Teeth fan artist, or people like Ken Newman, who is an animator on Ruby proper, as well as lead animator on Genlock, and is currently at Yacht Club Games, so I'm really proud of how she's doing. You can also see the soundtracks for Ruby's Volume 1, 3, and 5. Those happen to be my favorite soundtracks, with 6 as well, but I own that digitally. And I also, on the top left, you see a Blu-ray of Ruby Volume 3, which was actually signed by Carrie Stallcross. So I think that's pretty cool as well. I also have this Ruby Chibi poster that I got, and because it has Neo right there. And I also have a few figures. Like, I have the Pyrrha and Jean figure as well. If you remember that one, I was using that one in a funny little video that I think is not on my channel anymore. But yeah. I also have 2 Weisses that I got on accident because I was going through those random, like, the little figurine boxes. And every time I used it, or every time I bought them, I got Weiss. Like, I went to the mall and bought one, and I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, I got Weiss, whatever. And then I went to RTX and bought one, and I got Weiss again, and I was so mad. And the Jean right there was, I think, part of the Volume 1 set of that. But I actually didn't get that. I actually didn't get that one off. I got that one at a convention at the RTX. And it's weird because I got it off. It was like super glued onto a little tile, like literally it was super glued onto a tile with Miles Luna's signature on it. I have currently lost the tile that has Miles' signature on it, but to me that's okay because I also have his signature somewhere else, which you'll see in a bit. I also have a Ruby Amity Arena poster. This was the poster from the mobile game that they were coming out with, and is currently being shut down if I'm aware, so I think that's a little funny. I also have, the other Blu-rays I have is volumes 1 and 2, which you see right there. I actually got volume 2 for like around $5. And this is not technically Ruby, but it is Rooster Teeth. I also have the Camp Blu-ray, this for seasons 1 and 2. I think I bought that off of, I think I bought that with Brendan, which was really funny. But also I have Miles Luna's signature on them. If people don't know, Miles is the voice of Jean. And also at the bottom, you'll see Elizabeth Maxwell's signature on there. She voiced Nikki in that show, and is also the voice of Sayako in Yakuza Like a Dragon. So that was cool to find out. And of course I have my 4th Ruby poster, which is the first ever piece of Ruby merch I bought. I used to have that up in my on my college dorm. Blackrock Shadow remembers when I had that, and it's pretty old. Like there's some on the back of it. There's some like tape little things on them, and yeah. So I don't have a shrine, but there's all my Ruby merch. I think I have like little stickers or whatever from like fans or whatever, but yeah, that's about it. Des Moines, Iowa, one of the most boring places. Iowa. Lids also asked if I'm excited for any games this year as well. In all honesty, I say yesn't, because a lot of the games that I really was looking forward to already came out. Like, you know, Yakuza already came out. I know there's apparently a Judgment stream coming up pretty soon, which if that means a sequel to Judgment, I'll be okay with that. There's also a Resident Evil Village coming out pretty soon. I am going to be playing Nier Replicant. I have just bought that as well. And I'm thinking, and I know the big one coming up is No More Heroes 3. And I'm really excited for that as well. You know, Genry streams, check that out. Check out Suda51's other games as well. But other than that, I'm also really excited for, one game I'm looking to play this year is Balan Wonderworld, because as you're aware, there's a lot of stuff on that game, because there's been like, everyone says it's bad, and people have been like making videos on it. And I'm really just gonna play the waiting game and then play the full game, because number one, I wanted to go down in price, and number two, I want to make a video on it, but I want that video to come out like at the point where people are like, okay, I don't care about Balan Wonderworld now, but I would rather hear a different opinion on it, because there is just way too much negativity on that game coming out, and I really just want to wait till that stuff dies down, and also I can get it at a much cheaper price. To me, it's to say, hey, this really isn't that bad, because personally, from what I played from the demo, it wasn't that bad in my opinion, and I want to see how the full game turned out to be, and want to see like the other things that are in that game. I unfortunately got spoiled on the game because of a review that recently came out on it, so I'm avoiding a lot of videos on that game as well. The games I'll wait on is stuff like SMT5 and or Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Guilty Gear Strive. Haha, all 5 entries, because those games, while I'm a little bit excited for them, I want to see how it kind of turns out. Because Strive, from what I played, it just wasn't fun for me. And I've kind of felt burnt out on anything Atlas related. Like, I'm not even that excited for Nocturne HD anymore because of how that game was released and everything else regarding that game, which I have my own opinions on. But I hope things will turn out okay in the end. I'm just praying. Hydro Boy asks, favorite video OST? This one's a toughie because I have a ton of my favorite video game OSTs. I know, like, it all depends on what I'm listening to at the moment, or like what I'm into. Like, of course, at any time and any day, I could be like really into like listening to Sonic soundtracks, or then I could be really listening to like Yakuza soundtracks or like Nier soundtracks. It just depends on the kind of mood I'm in. Like Persona soundtracks I also really like listening to, but those games, you know. I do like, every once in a while, I do like listening to Metal Gear Rising soundtrack as well. I guess that's like one of my favorites. I also like Outrun 2's soundtrack because it has have a lot of my favorite remixes and a lot of really original songs as well. I'm referring to Coast to Coast, not just Outrun 2. I'm referring to Coast to Coast. That's also like my comfort game as well, and is why you're seeing it on the screen right now. But yeah, just like I said, depends on the time of day, and usually it's for my favorite franchises. Casual Watson asks, any plans for some sort of community videos, like group ups of playing Plasma or OJ and stuff in your server? No plans, but I would probably love to do that sort of video because I genuinely love doing really more casual videos as well, and it's with other people or like collaborating with other creators. I really love doing that, and because when I'm collaborating with other creators, it's just a lot of fun, and you can have a lot of good times, especially when you're just chatting and having fun playing video games. So I'm definitely a lot more open to that, especially recently because of the power of my new PC. This also ties into JR Stan's question about a GTA 5 video, because I would love to do a GTA 5 video, and I know we've been playing a lot recently, and I kind of like it, just don't know what kind of how to structure it, I guess. Or what to do in that sort of video. But you never know. Pseudoshell asks, console you have the fondest memory for and why? I think if I had the fondest memory, it would be my GameCube and my Wii. Both, because I have because I think the GameCube was actually one of the first consoles or home consoles I owned. It wasn't the first, it was the second, because I had a PS1 at the time. And I remember getting the GameCube like around Christmas Day, like around 3 or 4 in the morning, and my sister and I like played up till like 5 or 6, and then we had to like go to sleep afterwards, and then wake up at 12 and have our like Nina go over, or our aunt, for people who don't speak Spanish. But I remember having a lot of fun memories with the GameCube because there's a lot of really good games that came out for that system. And I remember it was one of my goals to get every single Sonic game on that system as a collector. Now here's the thing, I still haven't completed that because Sonic Gems collection still kind of has gotten away from me so many times, but eventually I'll come around and get it. I have a lot of fond memories with GameCube because I know my sister and I used to do a lot of multiplayer with that as well. We played a lot of of course a lot of the Sonic games, like Sonic Heroes. We loved Shadow the Hedgehog's multiplayer, which no one actually ever talks about, but I really love that multiplayer because it's a fun and broken multiplayer mode. The Wii, I know there was a lot of troubles around that because I know apparently with the Wii, my dad was like, it was another Christmas gift, but my dad was really struggling to get it because of everything that was going on around the time, because it was a hot ticket system and people were scalping that system as well. So when he actually got around to it, it's I can tell other people, but I'm only gonna keep the story kind of personal. But eventually he got it. But I remember doing a lot with that Wii as well. It was like my most beloved system because I played a lot of games on that. I love Sonic. I didn't really like Sonic and the Secret Rings, but I played a lot of hours in that. And I think for a while, the Wii had my biggest collection of games I ever had because I just love to play the Wii. I really and like the games were like usually get really cheap around them, so I think my first actual collection of games started with the Wii. And I still have a lot of fond memories with games I didn't really own on that system, like Super Mario Galaxy. Like I actually played and beat that on someone else's Wii, which like on my own files. So I have a lot of fond memories with GameCube and Wii. Dry Soup asks, Sonic the Fighters when? Lethal Gear Revival for realsies this time when? Okay, I do have a PS3, and I do have a way to capture PS3 footage, so let me re-download Sonic the Fighters, and I'm willing to do a little video on that, or like a fun video on that. Just let me know, and if you have a PS3. Or an Xbox Series X, when I eventually get that. And no, Lethal Gear will not be revived, stop asking. Blackrock Shadow asks, are there any consoles you don't own that you're interested in getting? And as a bonus, name one old system and one new system for the giggles. Now, I do have a good amount of consoles and libraries I'm very interested in. The one in particular, of course, is Sega, because, you know, Sega guy. I have a Dreamcast, which I'm really proud about, but I also want a Saturn or a Genesis. I will say Saturn because of, you know, Sakura Wars and what have you, and a few of the other games that were exclusive to that platform, like Burning Rangers. And I do see a lot of like the potential in having one because they're really expensive now, but I really just love that sort of library it has. For a new system, the newest one, I would say I'm really interested in getting an Xbox Series X because of everything that Xbox is doing this generation, because they kind of lost last gen. But I feel like Xbox is going to come back in a different sort of way because of everything that they're doing, especially now recent in regards to how Game Pass is and the ease of all that. Because I really like those business practices, and I'm feeling that PS5 is just, you know, it's just being PlayStation, and Jim Ryan just does not seem like a good CEO to me. So I'm probably going to stick with Xbox this generation, or just play on my PC, that sort of thing. I'm also interested in getting a PSP because that store is getting ready to shut down, or I'm also gonna like get other games that were exclusive to that platform that I can play on the go, because I can probably play PSP games a lot because they've been preserved via emulation. But would you rather play a PSP on your computer, or would you rather play it on the go? Unless a few PSP games that I really want get ported to like the Switch or something, or I'm pretty interested in getting a PSP. Anyways, I've gone on for a bit too long, so I'm gonna end it here. Like I said, check my Twitter for updates. And I hope everyone has a good one. See ya later.